Well, once again, I'm BR Schultz. Thank you for joining me for another BR Schultz SP500 episode. We saw the 1987 lottery ticket hit. It wasn't as extreme or severe as I had, as we all hope, when you get just pure red candlesticks falling from the sky. But nonetheless, it did a pretty good job of calling this rapid fire daily red candles from the February 19th peak. So again, the model called around the 11th, 12th, plus or minus a half a day. I think we got up near 6,100 on early morning the 13th or whatnot. So essentially that was the half day high, around 6,100. And you get like a percent for the wiggle room. So about 6160 is where it'd start to press into the the backstop, if you will, for the market getting or the model getting its call. So I think actually bumped into 6150. So it was right at the mark, right? So it was held. The model held pretty nice, and then we saw this very nice drop in markets as anticipated. It's always nice, right? Because when you make big calls, then there's a lot of people that have an opinion. So not to say anyone's right or wrong for that. You get the people who say, no, I think you're wrong. That's a fair call, right? Because they think markets are going to keep going up. And then, when you're at these pivotal points, at these extreme points in the markets, that's when everyone has a different opinion, right? So that's why the models are so kind of exciting. So even my critics, I can't fault them for, thinking that the market would keep going up. It was a very strong market. Looked strong. It blew past the CPI read, went higher. So not here to make a mockery of anyone really, because that was a tough spot, right? Because I was even wondering, is this thing gonna break, right? It seemed like everything was calling for a low near the 25th, 26th, but man, that was that was quite a challenge around February 19th, February 18th. So I don't fault anyone for throwing elbows at me and trying to say that they're gonna beat the model at the call. That's competition. So I have to say that was a pretty competitive swing there. So again, even I think most people, their emotions get high around those time frames. So even like I said, even my hardcore critics, you didn't beat the MJ model, unfortunately. It got 8 for 8, right, so to speak. Even though the 8th call is for March 24th for the macro low, 21st, 24th. But the model did exceptional once again, and right on time. So thank you for those who donated. There weren't too many donations, honestly, so I was a little shocked by that. But maybe that's because I missed my, the timing aspect wasn't completely there up front, because I thought it was going around CPI. So maybe that fouled things up for a few people, snagged things up. For me, I usually do about 90% shares, 93% shares, 95% shares. So even if I'm mostly right, I still get paid, right? So that's what I want to position myself. I want to position myself in such a way that if I'm mostly right, I make profits. So yeah. So I put 90% of my money in SPXU, and account bumped up very nicely from there. Exited my puts today, so my account keeps climbing. So I'm very happy with that. So even when I don't, hit a huge hit on maybe an option or a put, the account keeps going up, because again, I try to blend my how I place my bets on the roulette table, so to speak, that I still hopefully walk away with profits after all the trades are closed. If you're wondering how I do that. That's how I play it. All right, so big call for 1987 type movement. That's what we got. We just got this steady stream of red. It was beautiful. Loved it. Man, a lot of emotion gets put in that, right? Because you're just wondering if it's going to hit, and then, the first day hits, and you wonder if the second day will hit, and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, so it was gorgeous to watch it play out. Pretty tired because I watched my 2 toddlers all day today. So it was late night tonight, and I have not had a chance to do a video today. And I need to, because tomorrow is the 26th, and I'll be in the office all day tomorrow, so I won't have any time tomorrow to make a video, if you're wondering. So even if you didn't make any money, but you still did, still enjoyed the entertainment, I heartily encourage you to still donate, because hopefully my end game one day will be doing this full time to some degree. I'm making, having to go into an office maybe in 3 to 5 years. I do not know, but seriously, if you do enjoy my work, please feel free to donate, pass my work along to others. It'd mean the world to me. For those of you who did donate, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And to the individual who made $10,000, congratulations. Thank you for following my work. Thank you for making me a part of your day, part of your trade, I should say. Means a lot to me. Builds a lot of cred. So, and to my critics who thought I was going to crash and burn, the model continues to impress. Kind of shows you the model's ability to do the mid-range jumper, right? Like Michael Jordan swore that he would master. To my critics, I think it's worth noting that the model has really done well in the face of that. So thanks for being critical of me from time to time. I need to, stay on my toes, so to speak. But again, the model was able to perform very well. Even my friends that I've had for a long time, I try to tell them what I'm doing now. Oh my goodness, the responses I get from that is hilarious. They tell me I'm sports betting, or they think I'm taking options plays like for 3 weeks at a time or something. It's funny hearing what people think I do. Nope, that's not it at all. And then when I tell them it goes 8 for 8 or 7 for 7, all of a sudden crickets, right? To me, it's hilarious. I love it. So, Lord has been merciful to me, and yes, 20 years of hard work, folks. 20 years of prayer, asking the Lord to help me. A lot of that, right? A lot of crinkling up the paper, throwing it in the fire bin, the trash bin. It's probably been like 10,000 hours at one of these things, right? At building these models. Can you believe it? I can't believe it, honestly. I say that a lot, I guess, because I can't believe it. I can't believe I put in 10,000 hours into this. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you haven't put 10,000 hours into something. I certainly haven't. But man, this I have. And it's been a huge journey. Some of you read my journey on my blog about some of my darkest days. And honestly, back in 2011, when I first started this, I made that zigzag gold wave model and a few other short-term models. And some guy from the UK called me, and I don't know, we got talking or something. I don't really talk to that many people. For some reason, he wanted to talk to me, so maybe he was one of the first people. I don't know. There's also some hedge fund manager from Connecticut who reached out to me. But this guy from the UK, I don't know, it's just some people are alluring, right, or mysterious. And he wouldn't let me talk to him a lot. Kind of secretive, mysterious, right? And then he saw my work. I don't know, we maybe talked for 6 months to a year or something. And one day he said, man, I think you're going to become pretty successful this one day. I think you're going to be very successful. And he said, I showed my wife your work. And I guess they study some of these past successful traders' lifestyles quite a bit. He said, your work reminds my wife a lot of DW Gann. Yeah, because I guess somehow he's, I don't know. I always thought he was like son of a Baptist preacher or something. I don't know. At least that's one of the stories I thought I read somewhere. But other stories I know that he was very much a believer that the Bible had a lot of math in it that would also work in markets. So D.W. Gann, if you want to read up on him, you certainly can. Yeah, D.W. Gann died at the age of 77. On it, that's very interesting in my book, right? For someone that's so tied to the Bible and numbers, right? Died at the age 77. That's crazy. And then Elvis Presley, obviously one of my biggest people that I love dearly. At least his work, I should say. I went to Graceland, as some of you know. Elvis Presley died in 1977, right? And I really, most people would agree that he kind of embodied the American spirit, right? He kind of united the whole country. So, and he died in 1977. I just think that's amazing, right? And then I think, like, you do the calculation of when he died, what part of the year he died of August. It comes out to be almost 0.7 of the year, right? Of August, it's like 0.7 months. Close to 0.7 months of the year, so almost like 1977.7. I just find that very interesting. Obviously I like the number 7. If I told you all the number 7s that were in various parts of my numerics in my life, some of you would probably be blown away. Like I'm having my 7th kid. All 3 of my names have 7 numbers in them, 7 letters. I guess it's letters, right? And then the state I was born in has 7 letters. My birthday adds up to the number 7. It's just crazy. Anywho, yeah, just so many 7s. And then my first child and my 3rd child, both born the same day, with 7s like crazy in their birthday. It just, I don't know. I think the Lord put stamp 7s all over me somehow. Anywho, the guy in UK says he, thinks I'm a lot like Gann. Tells me he thinks I'm going to be a very successful and accurate stock market timer someday, and a very successful trader. And then shortly after that, my first wife left me. Right, she left me for like an old boyfriend. Ruined my life, really. Just took my legs out from underneath me, and I went to dark depression. Extremely dark depression. And I never thought I was going to go back to stock market timing, honestly. I thought, I've been replaced in life. A lot of times, sometimes you don't get to see your kids very often. It's trying to get that taken away from me as well. Forced to live in some guy's basement, right? That's unfinished. That's not very much fun. $50 to my name. My ex even tried to get the court to take away my sleeping bag, believe it or not. So here I am in some old clunker. It was just, this journey has been amazing, honestly. Just amazing. So I had 2 kids, my first wife, and then I'm having my 5th with my 2nd wife. And what's so interesting about that is I'm 43, having my 7th kid in my 43rd year of my life, right? So that adds up to 7 on the nose. And then obviously my kid being the 7th kid is a huge number. And then what's even more peculiar is my first wife I had 2 with, right? My 2nd wife I had 5 with. And I'm having my 7th kid in the year 25. So not only is it's just too crazy, right? How can you have 2 kids with your first wife, 5 kids with your 2nd wife, and then have your final kid in the year that is the 25, right? It actually matches to the marriages of my children being born to me. It really makes my head spin. So, and you can obviously tell that. So most of you are probably skipping over this part in the video. So those of you who listen to me ramble and talk about this, I don't know. Who knows? You never know when the last day on earth is, right? So I guess you gotta get your story out there somehow. If my grandkids are listening to this in the future, then there you go. That's the story about how I almost gave up. And then I had a pastor who talked a lot about George Mueller, who raised an orphanage simply by faith and prayer, never asked anyone for money. And he supposedly took care of 10,000 orphans in his life. People would just come to give him money, would send him money. He would never ask anyone for money, though. He always believed that God would provide and that the world needed to see someone who would live by faith, and that the answers of prayer would be so tremendous that even the unbelieving world would stop and pause and take note, right? So that is extraordinary faith. And if you go on Wikipedia or whatever, you can read the stories of this guy's life. It's like you'll be shocked if you just try to clear your mind and to seriously think about what it is that happens to this guy so many times because of his faith in God. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's life-changing if you take the time to read the book. So the book, I think itself is like 150 pages. Released The Power of Prayer, and then I bought the 2-volume set. I think they're like 1,200 pages each if you want the full set. I got the full set, I think about 2 of them, and I read through most of the first or second set. It's phenomenal, just phenomenal, and it really encouraged my faith. And after that dark time in my life, I decided that that's where I was going to live my life. You know, I was all in. And so after that, I truly started believing that God was going to supply all my needs. And obviously emotions still get in the way sometime. But even my house right now is a huge answer to prayer. And for those of you, maybe even say, you know, I've doubted that before, like, does God even hear your prayers or whatnot? I would say look at all my videos, because this has been my journey of faith is right in my stock market model for anyone that really wants to take the time to pay attention and see what answered prayer looks like. I mean, how can a model hit 8 for 8 in 2025? I really want to ask you that. I mean, I'm asking myself that. Because sometimes on this side of the microphone, you don't want to believe that, you know, that God hears your prayers either. But the truth is, faith is a powerful thing, and so I followed George Mueller's lead. You know, he structures like how he believes the best way to live your life is to honor God and have faith in Jesus Christ alone for the forgiveness of your sins, and then he believes, you know, then he lays out the case that this is how the Bible lays it out. This is what the proper way to, you know, that he believes to approach God and see answered prayer. And for a guy who took care of 10,000 orphans in his life, at the darkest time of my life, I figured, how could I go wrong? I hate reading, but, you know, I was in so much pain and misery. I'm like, you know what? It can't be that much more misery in my life. So I read the book. Life-changing. I went to court one time, actually, and I grabbed some random jacket, and I go into the courtroom. I'm in front of the policeman, and it's from one of my divorce hearings, and the alarm goes off, the metal detector, and so I've never seen a policeman just wave you on, like, don't care what's the alarm's going off for, you can just walk by. No, normally they get out the wand, right, and they just wand you like crazy until they figure out what it is that you're causing the buzzer to go off, right? Well, this is the one time in my life I've never seen this happen before. The policeman looks at me and he says, you can go. Even after I buzzed through the metal detector, he looked at me and said, you're free to go. And I was like, are you serious? In my mind, I was like, are you serious? But in my, you know, obviously in living proof, I just walked walking, right? So I was very curious at this point, what the heck was buzzing and setting off the metal detector? Because, you know, after so many times in, you make sure you're not wearing the belt or whatever. I go into the bathroom, the men's bathroom, and again, I hadn't worn this coat in forever. I reach inside the pocket, and in the pocket was a 6-inch switchblade knife. So for some reason, I don't know what it is, when you're a teenager and you buy knives and, you know, you put them in every coat you have, I guess. I don't know. So, oh my goodness. I was sweating profusely after I saw this giant, 6-inch knife in my pocket, and inside the court, right? So I don't know. It just sometimes God is with you like that, and oh my goodness. So anyways, obviously I left the court after that day, and I'll never forget that story. I'll never forget that policeman just looked at me and just let me go through. And I've never seen that anywhere, in an airport, in a court with all the metal detectors. I was blown away, honestly, blown away. And then I was also going to I think lose my kids or something. Right when I got divorced, my ex had, we had to get like an ad litem. And so I just went outside and cried like a baby and prayed. I'm like, Lord, if you please pity me, right? Please pity me. And I met someone like a week before at church. And next thing I know, they're writing like a court briefing for me. We're sitting together writing a court brief 24 hours after I prayed and asked the Lord for help in that situation. And it saved me from losing, getting my kids taken away from me. Because sometimes the other party just wants to do you in, and you really have no recourse if you don't have a lawyer. And if you only have $50 to your name, sorry, out of luck. But the Lord provided. I could not believe it. That was another just a huge answered prayer. And then, so anyways, all these things to say that, the Lord's answered a lot of prayers. And then there's one more in my life, and then we'll move on to the graphs, if you'll give me 2 more minutes of your ear. When I was a kid, obviously I feel like, as a kid, being a Christian in America, my faith was a lot stronger, obviously, than when you're an adult, because, you don't have to pay taxes, you're cared for and everything, so it's a lot easier to very much have a, kind of a clear head, if you will, or maybe a non-hardened heart, if you will. Your heart's still soft and towards the things of the Lord and towards the world. I remember when I was looking for golf balls one year, I had this favorite pair of sunglasses. They were green and black, and they're kind of like the new cycling glasses that you see that are pretty popular this last year or two. I can't remember what the brand names are, but they came back into fashion when I was a kid. They were there too. And so I love this pair of cycling glasses, or whatever it is, right? And the arms of the sunglasses would come off. And the colors of the glasses were green and black, like a camo, right? And obviously, golf courses are green mostly, right? So if you drop it in a golf course, you're probably not going to find it ever again because there's so much greenery. But I remember praying and asking God to help me, and I remember asking on this one side of the hole if God would provide me to find a golf ball. I believe that He would help me find this piece of my sunglass that I had dropped somewhere on the 18-hole golf course. Now, as an adult, you're like, kid, you're not gonna find it. You should just go buy another pair of sunglasses. What are they, like $5 back in 1980 something or in early 1990s? I mean, seriously. But as it would happen, I would find a golf ball on that hole. And as you know, golf course holes are not short. It's not a putt-putt course. It's a full-fledged golf course. I love selling golf balls as a kid. I was an entrepreneur, and that's another story. Anywho, so I found a golf ball on that side of the court, on that hole, and I said, "Thank you, Lord. I believe that you're going to help me find this part of my sunglasses." So a week or two would pass, right? Maybe a month. And I always hang out in the same hole like that. But nonetheless, I'm always going through all the woods everywhere, right? It's everywhere. It's an 18-hole golf course, for heaven's sakes. So I'm like on every hole. So if I lost a piece of sunglasses, it's going to be very hard to find. And then like 3 weeks later, I'm walking through like, I don't know, a fairway or something. And I'm looking down at my looking down the grass or whatever, I don't know, have your headphones on from 1980, so it's the fuzzy ones. It's not the earbuds. And I look in the grass, and there's this little green plastic thing. And I'm like, what is that? I reach down there, and I dig it out of the dirt, and it's the piece of my sunglasses. I could not believe that. It was one of the most, biggest answers to prayer I've ever had in my life. That that sticks with you, right? That there's no possible way that would happen. There's no mathematically probable way that that could happen, right? Never. Never could that happen. Especially in the middle of a fairway on an 18-hole golf course. You know, where holes can be up to 400 yards long or whatever, right around there, right? So it just blew my mind. And then later would the Lord answer all my, you know, so many prayers in all these models, right? Because, I mean, why would I need a zigzag model? How would I know how to build a zigzag model, for heaven's sakes, right? It was my first model. How would I know that I'm going to need the gold wave, right? How would I know that I'm going to need to build all these different models to make them work? I didn't. I've never had anyone help me. I have a mathematics minor from a very reputable university, but when it comes down to it, I've never had anyone help me with a model. Most people have always told me there's a better way to do it, or they feel that, you know, probably not going to end well. Maybe not trying to be mean to me, but just saying, hey, like, you might be wasting your time. You know, you've been doing this for years and years and years. Have you gotten anywhere? And that's just, you know, kind of a normal advice you'd give someone, right? I'd probably give it to my own brother. I'd probably give it to my brothers many times. They probably don't ever listen to me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you worked at this model for your whole life. Like, just give it up. Quit. Quit already. Dude. Life has not been good to you, so just give it up. But as you can see, I never gave it up, and kept working at it. And now the MJ model that has the purple, the green, and the gold wave, and now the red wave as well. It's extraordinary, right? Being able to make that many calls is in a row is amazing. It's unheard of. So yeah, so that's my life journey in prayer. For some of you that may be going through hard times in your life, we're not always sure why God does the things that he does. So anyways, like I said in my blog, I wrapped it all up with I know obviously at the point where we're about giving up, and lo and behold, here I am in my life, and the Lord has restored me like Job, given me 2 times as many kids, and you know, a challenging marriage, obviously. I think every marriage is challenging, it has its challenges, but I have a model that's working, right? I don't know how else to say it other than say it would seem mathematically improbable to create a model that can predict these types of swings. And I get told that all the time by people. What you're doing is probably not going to work out well. Donation QR codes and donation link below this video, and PayPal link below the YouTube video down in the description. Thank you for following me. Yeah, so I don't really know exactly when the market's going to bottom. Might be early morning, December 27th. I really wanted to see near 58.80, 58.50. Because, why do I say that? I say that because once the 10-minute model gold wave hits, usually it produces about a 200-point swing, upswing. And that's what we saw, I think, like from the December 19th, 20th bottom into December 24th, 26th. We saw about a 200-point upshot. And so on my blog, if you will, I have a 10-minute model, I believe, and shows like a bottom around the 26-ish, right? So that produces a 200-point move up, at least like a 3.4% rocket pop, which again, 3.4, right? It's 200 points. I like it. That's my 34. If it causes a 200-point run up, and I believe that markets are breaking down into March 24th, it could get near the highs, right? It could. But in my opinion, does like 60-80, 60-75 kind of fit as high of an extreme as I think it's going upwards? I would think so. So, not really sure what to make of the 59.20 today that we saw on the SPX 500 USD. I was kind of hoping to be like, 58.50 or something. That way we have a clear 200 points that we can rocket up into this, as you're seeing about March 3rd on the graph. There's a 1-2 there on the top of the gold wave, and there's like a fork out into the center of the graph into March 3rd into the midsection. And so I'm not really sure what to do here because it's kind of like hamstrung. Markets have already jumped up 50 points from their 59, just below 59.20. Now futures tonight are at 59.76. The gold or the green wave, I should say, I think it's calling for one more bust in the markets. So if we don't see a pretty sizable bust at the end of February 26th, maybe Nvidia misses earnings, and maybe futures sell off, and we start off the 27th deep in the red, and that's the bottom. So that could be two. We could sell off very heavily pre-market in the SPX 500 USD. We could get down to 58.70 or something, 58.50. Make it look really red at the beginning of the day, and then we could finish the day barely green on Thursday, and then Friday. My guess is Jay Powell or President Trump or somebody says that they've got some budget, that's most likely going to pass some hurdle over the weekend. So we just gotta have Jay Powell push the markets up, and more than likely he will. That's my guess. My guess is they're going to play some political stunt to get the markets to rocket up into the March 3rd date, which is a Monday, plus or minus 1 day. So it could be Friday too. I mean, if we're up near some really heavy resistance at the end of day Friday, or even 20 points away from it, and then the futures open up on Sunday night to crash. They could bump up 20 points on or first thing Sunday night and then crash into Monday morning. So I mean, obviously you'll be looking at the level that we finish at on that Friday, or this Friday, and then see what the point swing is that we've covered, right? So again, we hit about, let's see here, 59.15 roughly on SPX 500 USD today. So if you add 200 points to that, you get to 61.15, which to me is a little high. But we could just go up and tag it and pull back really hard, right? I mean, you could still just do a 200 point, just cannonball run and then bounce off of the 200 point marker. It might be 220 points, I don't know. But anywho, like on the buy points on the 10-minute model, they get like a 3 multiplier of the normal melt up, which is about 70 to 77 points. So you could be looking like a 220 point run up off of the low that we've either created today, or that we will create on I believe it could be Friday morning or Wednesday overnight, Thursday morning, right? Yeah. So when Nvidia reports, watch SPX 500 USD on TradingView.com. Maybe we get down to finally the 34-week moving average on the SPX 500 USD, which is down at 58.40, 58.30. And that would give us a clear runway, right, of 220 points, that 3.4% pop that I'm looking for in the 10-minute model. And then another theory is too, like we could end slightly green tomorrow, which is the 26th, on the daily candle, and then you could just fall off a cliff on the 27th, right? Because that'd be like a wave 1 up, wave 2 down, and then wave 3 up would be your most powerful wave into your March 3rd peak. So you could have Friday, and then that Monday you could have a huge run up of 200 points or whatever, So, and most people would not be expecting that. But hopefully, if my understanding of the 10-minute model is correct, again, you'd be looking for like a 3.4% upside from the very bottom on SPX 500 USD, the 24-hour contract on tradingview.com. So that's where I'm going to take my measurements, right? So if we can somehow get the wind knocked out of our sails going into the morning of the 27th and get it down really low, then I'm going to be looking at going long, maybe buying calls. And again, so the model here I'm showing on the screen, predicting like, I think it's about the 3rd. Now you might say, well, that yellow line at the top is more like the 28th. You could say that, right? So again, you need to know how to count points, do your own work, use your own tools, but plus or minus 1 business day from March 3rd still gives you the 28th. So it's as good as a model can do, and there's going to be a little bit of mis-syncing that occurs in these models, so don't let it drive you too crazy. But yeah, hopefully most of you did well on this last trade. Hopefully some of you did really well, and yeah, that's my hope. Sorry I'm long-winded tonight. I'm extremely tired, but I wanted to get everyone a video. Obviously, the more accuracy I can provide to the masses, hopefully you all want to share my work with others. I haven't really seen any growth in my YouTube channel, surprisingly. So if you love my work, please consider sharing my work wherever you see the need or see that it's fitting. And then obviously if you want to donate, please consider that as well. It's always encouraging to receive donations. And yeah, and to my critics that keep following me, thank you for following me. It means the world to me that people that can't stand me the most keep following me. That's always awesome, right? So on my blog, as you know, I play the song Clap for the Schultz Man. It's a spin-off of, Clap for the Wolf Man from the Guess Who. I do that specifically and especially for the people that troll me and my big critics that want to tear me apart in any way they can. Clap for the Schultz Man is dedicated to you, always. So you can laugh. I want to give you a smile on your face, even though, everyone's got to have a critic, right? So, but either way, I'm trying to make you laugh as well. All right, I think I've covered it. And then yeah, March 24th, I think is March 21st, March 24th is the big bottom, the macro bottom still. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And yeah, sorry I'm a little slow on the draw tonight, but I am extremely tired. But again, I want to get people a video, and who knows, maybe one of these videos really makes the difference down the road for one of my family members or kids when they come back and listen to the first part there about my life's journey. If you don't enjoy it this time, no hard feelings, but you never know. One of my kids may be going through a hard time in 20, 30 years and I don't even know it, and maybe they needed to hear this video. You don't know. So I'll keep it on the recording nonetheless, because obviously I want to encourage my kids more than anyone in the world. So if you enjoy my work, yeah, please feel free to share my work, because I've got to keep growing those subscriptions if you want to. Yeah, feel free. If you love my work, feel free to comment. Thank you for all those people who have commented. Everyone actually keeps pretty good comments on my YouTube channel. I'm getting better and better all the time. I think like the first couple of videos, the comments were kind of silly, but as time's going by, I think people are really, either it's a genuine compliment or just tell me what you're doing, and that's cool. And then there's always a critic or two, so if they go too overboard, then I'll remove them for good from my YouTube channel. But for some reason, there's one or two that I always can't really find the heart to remove them. So I don't know what it is about those individuals, but maybe they just come back under a different username. That's what my kids would do, or that's what I would have done probably if I was a teenager. So I'm not saying they are a teenager, but in my teenage years, I probably would have just made a new screen name and come right back at you if I really wanted to bug you. So Anywho, so my next short-term peak I think will be March 3rd, plus or minus a business day. And then if those of you who looked at my blog, you know that I believe the next bottom will be around March 6th or 7th. So it kind of fits in with, you know, the 2 to 3, 4 candle swing action that we've been getting. And I think even now we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4 red daily candles. And we're not selling off overnight tonight, which is always a good thing, I think, because people always say if you have a huge sell-off at night, usually when it gaps down like that, that is the bottom in the morning. So if we see a huge gap down tomorrow morning, then I may start consider going long. Obviously, if we get around the 5,800 region, whatever. The 5,800s, you know, could be 5,890, 5,870, whatever. Anywho, I made an extremely long video tonight. I think it's because I'm tired, and yeah. And if the donations don't really keep coming in, maybe I'll start, you know, maybe I'll pause on the videos or something. Maybe people are getting tired of my videos. I don't know. I know there's a few people that just they'll donate, you know, after March 24th because they want to compound all their winnings as they play and play and play and play. Kind of like the casino, right? You don't want to leave the casino. You don't want to cut back your stack of cash while you're at the casino. You want to keep playing and hopefully win the most and then walk out there and throw a donation or whatever. So completely respectable. But yeah, I mean, if there's just not a lot of donations or whatever on these, you know, big winning spots, then maybe that's people's way of saying, hey, you know, you can take a couple days off a video or whatever. But yeah, so anyways, I should probably throw it in this video then. So I'm looking for like a peak around March 3rd plus or minus a day, and then a bottom around March 7th plus or minus a day. Then we go kind of create some kind of 5-wave movement up until I think the Fed date of March 19th. And then I think there's a peak at the Fed date. Could be end of day, could be right after they're done talking. I don't really know. And then we would have one final sell-off into the March 21st, 24th bottom, which obviously isn't too far after the March 19th Fed meeting, right? That would be March 21st would be that Friday. So, you know, 2 to 3 day sell-off, I guess, is what the model is proposing. So if I don't make a video, I usually am pretty good about it. Even when I say I'm going to give up for a while, I don't know. It's hard to give up on the market when I enjoy it so much. I always think I'm going to take a break. I always feel like taking a break. And then, you know, something I enjoy so much about markets, I just want to keep going back. So anyway, so if I don't come back, yeah, I don't know. And then that's the macro bottom, right? March 24th. So and then maybe we're up until end of May or something. I think there's one other bottom around the Fed date, around the end of April. Surprise, surprise, right? 6 weeks later. Maybe that's one of the waves that we go up into the end of May. But I'll probably do another video maybe around March 21st or 24th in the least, right? And I'm guessing that there's probably a peak around late May, end of May. You know, I kind of get that. You kind of get the Memorial Day peak, and then markets usually cool off for 2 to 3 weeks. So it'd be surprising if I don't make another video. But should I not make another video, just plan on the forecast being a peak at the end of May, after some kind of bottom at the end of April, because I think that's the Fed meeting. End of April. Yeah, so I think the model is picking up some kind of softness, weakness into the Fed meeting, and then the next Fed meeting would be mid-June, right? So that would make sense. End of May would be the peak, and then you'd have softness into the Fed meeting in June as another bottom. That would make sense. So you can tell there's some kind of more macro scale waves more than likely being formed with these Fed meetings and stuff. So yeah, so right now, if I don't come back, if I should not make another video for a while, I would think that my forecast would be some type of major peak around the end of May, around Memorial Day. And with that, I'm going to get some sleep because this video is extremely long now. Anywho, maybe I'm getting worn out too. All right. Thank you so much for listening tonight, and until next time, take care. I'm B.R. Schultz, SP500. And again, this model was also picking right around the March 21st, 24th bottom for markets for the major low. with a zigzag, a 1, 2, 3 touch point, BR Schultz, SP 500, systematic way of timing markets with a zigzag. And then this is the macro peak for December of 2027. So in a nutshell, in under 10 minutes, maybe near 5 actually, you've got the complete rundown from the macro to the micro to the micro to the macro. All right, race fans, I'll catch you later. Bye. So hopefully you've enjoyed my show today. Warning, this is all forecast use only. Come here. You want to read this for me? What does that say? Forecast?
Forecast.
Use?
Use only.
Only. Right. And what's this say?
Warning.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. I am not
A licensed investment professional. That's Latin. So say caveat emptor. Seek professional advice prior to investing. Bears risk
of
financial
loss.
Very good. And so basically this is saying if you ever try to invest in stocks or anything else, you could lose money. Warning, warning, warning. And all my graphs are subject to change. And not all the results are not always the same. Yeah. Thank you for reading for me.
You're welcome.
And that's it for today. I'm BR Schultz. Until next time, take care.